Hello, good morning. Welcome to Cafe de Paris. It is your princess of knowledge, your girl, Lady Mocha. How's everybody out there doing? I know if you didn't get a chance to view, I did a video yesterday about there being more families, more baby showers and less families. Basically the video was pertaining to the majority of women now more than ever are striving to become single moms instead of striving to become wives. And unfortunately it's becoming an epidemic that a lot of women are not even striving or not even trying to build a family foundation. Okay, a lot of women have already have already accepted the fact that they don't feel like there's enough men that values them as a wife or values them as someone they could see themselves having a future with. So a lot of women are not feeling valuable. So what a lot of women are starting to do now, they're basically striving to become moms, just single moms. Okay, I guess a lot of them have gotten to reach that desperate point in their lives, like, well, doesn't look like I'm going to get a husband by now. I'm 39, going on 40 years old. No guy won't commit to me. No man wants to have nothing fulfilling with me, and I still want a child. I still want a family. So I'll just settle with being just a baby mama, since I can't find somebody that sees me worthy enough to actually commit to me and actually make me their wife. So that was the subject of yesterday's video, okay? With that in mind, that subject pretty much falls in line with the recipe that I have decided to basically do this video today towards on. Basically, single families have become unfortunately the underlying issue as to why welfare has even come about. Okay, a lot of these women that are going out here making these decisions, who are randomly having children from men who they don't know that well, or are having children from men who they do know, but these men won't commit to them. These women are not being wise enough to say, you know what, unless I know you're going to be committed to me, have a family with me, and I know you're going to be supportive, and I know I can depend on you, I'm just go ahead and take a chance and get pregnant to have a family anyway. And hopefully it all just kind of works out. You have a lot of women that have chosen to just give up on that, and they're okay with just settling, and being a baby mama, and just raising these children by themselves. But the problem is, the majority of them, as much as they claim they can do it by themselves, they can't do it by themselves, okay? If they could do it by themselves, there would be no need for welfare. There would be no need for child support, okay? So I find it very contradicting that a woman will say, I don't need a man to help me with anything. Yet, she will go get child support the moment she realizes she don't have the finances to take care of this child. Or she will go and get food stamps because she realizes she really can't feed this child, or she'll go apply for housing or Section 8 because she realizes I don't have a place. I need somewhere to put. I need to have a place to stay for me and my child, but yet we don't need a man and we're so independent, right? That's very contradicting. Not only that, I want everybody to keep in mind as far as to where I'm getting ready to really go with this. What people are not understanding, all of these low-fare recipients, you women, whether if you're black, whether if you're white, whether if you're young, whether if you're old, a lot of these women out here who are depending on the system don't think that they're really getting pimped. And contrary to what many may think, welfare is the biggest pimps of all pimps, okay? All right? So while a lot of you women walking around here, smelling yourselves and thinking that, you the one calling the shots, you the one running the show because you have your housing, you have your child support, you have your Section 8, and I'll put child support on the side because that's a little bit different. But for the majority of you who are receiving housing, who are receiving WIC, who are receiving food stamps or TANF check, all of these governmental assistance that you're receiving, whether you wanted to believe it or not, You are getting pimped. Yes, I said it. You are getting pimped by the biggest pimp of all. And he goes by the name of Welfare. Okay? And for a lot of y'all who don't think what I'm saying is making any sense, like Lady Mocha, how do you figure I'm getting pimped by the system? Okay? I'm getting my stamps, my $800, $900 worth of stamps coming in for my 6, 7 babies. I'm in housing. I'm getting my wig. I'm getting my tanner check. How's the system pimping me when I'm the one benefiting you? I'm going to break down all of those elements so you can understand how you are getting pimped. You have become a prostitute to government assistance, okay? That's what a lot of you welfare recipients are. It's just another version of being a prostitute, yes. You have become prostitutes to governmental assistance, okay? And basically, for those of you who know what a pimp is, basically we all know a pimp is a man, for the most part, who has women that with low self-esteem, that's needy, that's really bad off, and have no self-worth. They lack knowledge, lack independence, so therefore they trust this man to provide for them, even if it means this pimp is abusing them, manipulating them, lying to them. These low common denominators, which is, you know, majority of black women or women with low self-esteem, unfortunately. These low common denominators, they become prey to pimps for the simple fact that a lot of them are lacking the things that I just told you about, okay? And that pimp knows that, all right? So basically, what the pimp does, the pimp puts them on game. He puts them on deck, okay? That pimp is going to whisper sweet nothings, you know, in that woman's ear, like, you know, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna give you what you need, baby, you know, I'm gonna make sure you straight, you're not gonna want for nothing, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna cover you, I'm gonna look out for you. All you got to do is sell your body. You know, stand on the street corners, give as much blowjobs, you know, give whatever you can to keep the money rolling in. That way I could profit off of your stupidity. I could profit off of your lack of self-esteem thereof. Basically, that's what pimps do, okay? All right? But if you think about it, welfare operates the same way. And I'm going to break it down to you, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why welfare is the biggest pimp of all pimps, because for one, just like a pimp with a prostitute, welfare knows that the majority of females who depend on them have low self-esteem. They lack knowledge. They lack finances. They lack all the sources they need to be able to take care of themselves. Just like a prostitute with a pimp. She's lacking all the resource, the life skills, abilities. She lacks all of that. Obviously, she would need the pimp to depend on if she had all of the abilities and the means and the resources to take care of herself. That's the same way it works with these welfare prostitutes, okay? Welfare knows that in order for you know, a welfare prostitute to depend on them, she's gonna have to be somebody who lacks resources, lacks characters, lacks the means, lacks the support she needs. So therefore, she has to depend on welfare like a prostitute has to depend on a pimp, okay? And basically, like a pimp is smart enough to know all I have to do is whisper sweet nothings. Make her believe that I'm helping her. Make her believe that I'm there for her. Make her believe that I'm here to support her. I got her back. You know, I'm here to get her to the next level. That's how pimps out there in the real pimp world manipulate a lot of these females into becoming a prostitute. That is exactly how welfare operates. Welfare has whispered sweet nothings and these low self-esteem, low common denominator type of females who not only lack just self-esteem and self-worth, they lack finances, they lack resources, they lack support, because they wouldn't need welfare if they had all of those things. It's basic common sense. So again, welfare whispers sweet nothings into these welfare prostitutes' ear. All you got to do is, if you need extra money for food stamps, all you got to keep doing is laying on your back. It don't matter if it's with a dude you know or a dude you don't know. Lay on your back. Screw any Tom, Dick, and Daryl. I will make sure I supply you with all the benefits you need. The more children you have, the more stamps I can supply. The more chances of me supplying you housing. I can supply you WIC. I'll do an increase on your TANF check based on how many children you produce. You don't have to be married to nobody. You don't have to be committed to somebody. All you have to do is belittle yourself and put yourself in a position to become a whore. Basically, the more men you lay with, the more benefits we can give you. Okay, and that's the same way a pimp operates with a prostitute. Okay, the more men she lays with, the more he gets the benefit. Okay, and that's the same way the pimp welfare operates with these welfare prostitutes. Okay, he has them believing as long as you keep belittling yourself and putting yourself out there with any and everybody, I can give you whatever you need. Okay, and like the pimp profits because money is coming in his pockets. Money, he gets to enjoy the luxuries of this woman that is laying on her back. He's the one with the nice cars. He's the one with all the gold rings and all the nice suits and all the pimp hats. Y'all know how these pimps be looking, okay? He's looking flawless based on these low common denominators that are laying with all kind of men to basically give him the benefits that they are actually the ones putting their bodies out there on the line for. That's how it operates with welfare. Okay, welfare benefits off of these welfare prostitutes, okay, because the government, the way the government operates is the more assistance they keep providing, the more they can keep earning revenue, okay? And at the end of the day, these people who are behind the scenes with the government, who are supplying these low common denominators or these welfare prostitutes with all of these benefits and all of these resources, they are benefiting from it as well, okay? They get the pocket. Okay, they get to take some of those funds and embezzle them, do all kind of dirty undercover stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's no, like they say, there's no such thing as free lunch. Okay, believe me, the government that's giving these low common denominators these benefits, they are benefiting from it as well. That's why they don't have a problem out here supplying and giving these low common denominators all the benefits, okay? But what these women have to realize, they better strap their seatbelt on and get ready for a ride, because a lot of things are getting ready to change. You have a whole nother president that's in office who's never struggled, who's never come from the ghetto. So he's not able to relate to the struggles that the majority of these low-income recipients are receiving. He can't relate to that. He's not from that world. And this is what happens when you have somebody over you who cannot relate to your struggle. Guess what? They have the power to pull a rug from up under your foot. Because the way they look at it is, if I can go out here and work, and if I can go out here and start all these businesses, and I have all I have all of these different type of businesses and companies, and I'm not out here depending on the system, y'all should be able to do the same thing. That is how people think that are not in the struggle. People who have always had it, people who have never had to come up, struggling or depending on anything. They have no compassion, no sympathy for those who are struggling and dependent on the system. So for all of you welfare prostitutes out there, get ready, because you got somebody that's over you now, that don't have no compassion for your struggle, don't care about your struggle, because they never had to go through your struggle. So again, Welfare Pimp is the biggest pimp in the game. He is pimping all these low common denominators. And this is another thing I want y'all to keep in mind, okay? Just like with a pimp, with a prostitute, if you notice, he will give his prostitutes not a whole lot, okay? A pimp is smart enough to know that if he wants to continue to benefit off of this LCD, low common denominator, if he wants to benefit off of her, he's smart enough to know not to give her too much, okay? He knows that if he gives her way too much money that he's profiting off of, he knows that this LCD is no longer going to need him. Okay, he knows if he gives her way too much money, she can get herself together, leave him, no longer need him, and she can go make her own waves. So where the pimp is smart, he knows not to give the prostitute or the whore too much, okay? Because he knows he has to only give her a certain amount, because he wants to make sure that she continues to keep needing him. And as long as she keeps needing him, he can keep benefiting and profiting off of her, okay? That's the same way with welfare. Why a lot of these welfare prostitutes think they are getting by because they're getting $800 on their EPT, or they're getting a $1,200 a month TANF checks or whatever. They're with their housing. A lot of them think they're getting by. But if you think about it, welfare is pimping the hell out of these welfare prostitutes, because it's common sense. If they really wanted these women to do better, if they really wanted these women to no longer need them like a pimp, pimp with a prostitute, why is the system designed to where it's one of those things to where it's constantly ongoing? There's no real solution. Okay, for example, if again, they're supplying the welfare pimp is supplying the welfare prostitute with all of these governmental assistance that I just told you. Why is the system not designed to say, okay, we're going to put them in houses to where they don't have to keep renting, they can buy? Okay, let's stop putting them in the projects. Let's stop putting them on these Section 8 systems where they can live in homes, but they can only stay in them homes as long as they are receiving benefits from us. That is the same way that's how a prostitute, that's how a pimp does his prostitute. He's not going to give her something to where she doesn't need him. He's not going to buy her a car that's paid for. He's not going to buy her a home that's paid for, because he knows his hoe is going to leave him. Okay, that's the same way welfare pimp works. He has designed a system to where these LCDs have to keep depending on him. Okay, think about it. If welfare designed a system to where they will put women in actual houses, because a lot of these women get vouchers, okay? And for y'all who don't know what vouchers are, that is when welfare gives a woman a certain like check to where the house could be, the rent could be like $500 a month, and the voucher is $400, meaning she's only paying $100 out of her pocket, for those of you who don't understand how vouchers work. So if that's the case, if they're willing to give them a voucher, why does the voucher have to be for rent? Why the voucher can't be for them to buy a home, so eventually these LCDs can own their own shit and no longer have to depend on them? Think about it. That's why I said welfare is the ultimate pimp of all pimps. It's pimping the hell out of these welfare prostitutes, and they walking around here thinking they got it going on, and not understanding that welfare pimp could pull a rug from up under their foot anytime, because there's no solution. The system is not designed to make it to where they no longer need it. Okay, so if somebody puts you in a position where you know they don't help you get yourself well established to where you don't need them anymore, guess what? They can come to you anytime and pull a rug up under your foot and say, okay, yeah, I've been looking out for you the last 2-3 years. You know, knowing they gave you something that ain't paid for, knowing they didn't give you something that gives you any entitlement of ownership, so they can pull a rug from up under your foot anytime. That's how welfare pimp works. Okay, and as I was saying, like a pimp knows if he gives his prostitute too much money, she's not going to need him. At the same time, the pimp is smart enough to also know that if he wants that prostitute to remain one of his prostitutes, that way he could continue to keep profiting off of her, he knows he has to give her something. He know he can't give her too much. But then he knows at the same time he cannot expect a profit off of her if he doesn't give her something. So if you notice in the pimp game, a lot of these LCDs, these prostitutes that are getting taken advantage of by these pimps, okay? The majority of these pimps, how they play the game is that they give these LCDs Scooby snacks, okay? They basically give them snacks, all right? You know, they'll buy them a nice dress here and there. They'll give them the 2 H's, a hamburger and a hairdo. You know, they'll take them out to eat, get them little trinkets, do little small little things for them to make the prostitute feel like she's worthy, that my pimp must really love me, must really support me, must really care about me, because he's giving me all these trinkets, not realizing that these little kibbles and bits that the pimp is giving this prostitute is just enough to keep her at bay, to make her believe that she's really going somewhere. In actuality, he's the one that's getting really benefiting. Okay, he the one that got the home paid for. He the one that has the cars paid for. He the one wearing a nice Polo, Gucci, top name brand off of her body. And because she's so uneducated, she lacks knowledge, she lacks wisdom. To her, the kibbles and bits he's offering her to keep her in debt to him, it means a lot to her. Okay, that's the same way welfare pimp works. A lot of these welfare prostitutes out here swearing they got it going on with the Section 8 housing, with the TANF, with the food stamps, with the $800-900 that hit their EPT card. These welfare prostitutes swear they're living in luxury, swear they got it going on, and not even realize that welfare pimp is setting them up for the kill, because when he is ready to dispose them, he can dispose them anytime he wants, just like that pimp can with that prostitute. If he feels like she done got too old, she ain't got the kind of body where he could profit off of, she's not drawing as many clients to her, he has no purpose for her, he'll get rid of her. And if you think about it, welfare pimp is designed the same way, because when women hit a certain age and their bodies can no longer produce children, and they could no longer use the system to their ability, guess what welfare pimp does? He gets rid of them. Okay, he kicks them off. All right, because we all know welfare pimp is never committed to the welfare prostitutes. Okay, when welfare pimp has used them for as long as they can use them, he no longer has a purpose for them. Okay, so I just broke down to you how welfare pimp is the pimp of all pimps. It's a lot of these low income recipients that have prostituted themselves to the systems. Y'all are straight prostitutes, okay? And y'all don't even have the first amount of knowledge to even understand how badly you are being prostitute and how the system is using you. The system doesn't want you to better yourself. The system, welfare pimp, wants you to keep depending on him. If welfare pimp didn't want you to need him, then how come he has not designed his system to where he could buy your house, pay your house off for you? Why welfare pimp won't give you vouchers for college? Why welfare pimp won't help you with seeking employment? Welfare pimp doesn't do none of that. Like a real pimp doesn't help his prostitute get into college. He don't want her to know anything. He don't want her to know how to better herself. He wants her to keep depending on him. If you go on YouTube and you look up a lot of these pimp documentaries, that is exactly what they do. If you look at how they treat these females, how they talk to these females, they do not talk to these females about trying to better themselves and putting themselves in positions where they no longer need them. How many pimps do you know say, look, I just want you to pimp. I just want you to, work for me for a little while. After you done working while you working for me, I'm going to put you up in a nice house. I'm going to make sure your home paid for. I'm going to make sure your house paid for. I'm going to make sure you benefit you have something left worthwhile out of all the years you done put in work for me. Of course, he's not going to do that, okay? He puts you on and gets you well established. You're not going to need him. He's not going to be able to profit and benefit off of that. And that's the same way welfare pimp works. So yes, honey, a lot of the welfare prostitutes have gotten pimped by pimp welfare, okay? And furthermore, I think it's imperative as I go into this subject that a lot of these women have to understand. They have to hold on to their seatbelts tight because we have a whole nother president in office, okay? I've already heard there are some states who are already losing their Section 8. And this comes from the fact that y'all have prostituted for welfare pimp for so many years. Y'all did not put nothing up for yourselves. Them TANF checks, you didn't put them in the bank. You didn't save them up. Because just like a pimp makes a prostitute believe he's going to be in her life forever, he's going to take care of her forever, that's what welfare pimp has done with y'all. He's been giving you the TANF, giving you the housing, giving you all this stuff, and instead of y'all making good on it with these TANF checks, with this child support, with all these benefits, welfare pimp has been helping you to get, okay? Because welfare pimp does help these welfare prostitutes get child support. Because the way welfare pimp works, in order for these welfare prostitutes to get benefits, they have to basically surrender information as far as father of the child. Because what they're going to do is, once they give welfare prostitute all the information, once the welfare prostitute gives welfare pimp all the information, his job is to go out and look for that father and make him reimburse for all the benefits that that she has been receiving over the amount of years, okay? So I might as well say child support is included as well with governmental assistance, because they make sure these welfare prostitutes do that, okay? They give them a long application that's like from here to New Zealand with all this information. How does he look? What color? How many pounds he weighs? And all this other stuff, okay? So, again, the welfare system is pimp welfare is designed to keep these women in bondage and hostage to where they can't better themselves. And like I said, with his new president, he's getting ready to pull the rug from up under y'all foot. Okay, and the sad part is welfare pimp has not given y'all the tools these welfare prostitutes need to not use them. Some of these welfare prostitutes don't know how to fill out job applications. Some of them don't even know how to pay rent raw, straight out of pocket without a voucher. A lot of them don't know how to budget. A lot of them don't know how to save up. A lot of these welfare prostitutes that was receiving all of these benefits did not make well. Okay, instead of saving a TANF check, putting it aside over the years, so eventually when welfare pimp decides to boot their asses, they can still maintain. No, with TANF checks, a lot of y'all been making the nail salons rich. Y'all been making them beauty health supply stores rich. A lot of y'all have been taking these TANF checks, taking this child support, and not making good investments, okay? And before you look up, you owed everything that was pointing north, now it's pointing south. You don't look that good no more. The 6-7 kids you had them put a toll on your body. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's not checking for you like that, okay? You know what I'm saying? Because face it, we all are getting older, all right? So, you can't make being a welfare prostitute a full-term or long-term occupation. You get what I'm saying? Because again, the rules, the dynamics are getting ready to change, okay? Thanks to our new president, all right? So for all of y'all who have played with child support, have played with housing, have played with welfare, get ready, okay? If you don't know now, this is the time to start getting yourselves established. It's time for you to get in college, find your community-based college. It ain't got to be no big-time university like Harvard or Yale, but this is the time to establish yourself. Play with it. Think it's a joke. Think it's not real. You wake up one morning and check your damn mailbox, or they done taped the letter to your door letting you know Section A as of today. All Section A recipients, or what I will call welfare prostitutes or whatever, now you're going to have to make other arrangements, make other preparations, or whatever the case is, okay? Now, this is not to say, when it comes to pimp welfare, some of us need a pimp, okay? Some people, depending on the struggle they're in, you've had women who have had to go to pimps, who have had to sell their bodies, okay? Because they put themselves in bad positions to where they didn't go to college, they didn't work jobs, they didn't do anything to really establish themselves. And now, as time has gone on, they realize they need assistance, they realize they need help, you know, so they go to this pimp. Okay, so for those of you who need it, I'm not knocking you if you need it. You know what I mean? You know, we all need help from time to time. Okay, I stayed in housing, okay? It was every bit of almost 8-9 years ago. I stayed in housing, you know, but I didn't make it a full-time occupation. I stayed there until I got my degree. While I was in school, my rent was 0%. Okay, long as I was in school, they didn't hound me for no rent. They didn't hound me. And then at the same time, I was learning a trade, earning a skill. You know, that way I didn't have to depend on it. But that took me to do it. Welfare Pimp didn't offer that to me. Welfare Pimp didn't say, while you in housing, you have to go to college. Okay, because the majority of y'all, I'm quite sure, if Welfare Pimp told you got to go to school, told you have to work, you have to you know, learn how to take income tax classes where you learn how to budget your money, budget your finances, most of y'all wouldn't even want it. Y'all would not want it. I guarantee you, if Welfare Pimp made it to where you had to meet certain requirements to receive those benefits, if Welfare Pimp made you to go to school, if Welfare Pimp made you save up money before they can help you get a home, if Welfare Pimp made you put college funds money aside for all these children you having from all these random men, y'all would not even want welfare. Y'all wouldn't think twice about it. You'll be like, oh, hell no, I got to go through all that to get that. No, exactly. Because Welfare Pimp got you where he wants you. Okay? He wants you to fail. He wants you to need him. He wants you to be codependent on him. It's a lot of females that done fell prey to Welfare Pimp. Y'all have become full-term prostitutes. Okay? And he's about to boot you off his team. A lot of these states have already received notices about Section A closing. They're making it harder and harder and harder for you to stay in the game of using Welfare Pimp. Okay? So y'all have to it's getting critical. You're gonna have to make a decision. Okay? And I know I digressed a lot, but I further want to go into the history of welfare. Okay? Now that I've addressed that point as to how Welfare Pimp has created welfare prostitutes, in order for us to understand how this has come about, we have to understand the history. A lot of these welfare prostitutes are getting these benefits and don't even know where they started. And for the most part, most of them don't give a damn anyway where it came from. All they care about is, as long as they check their EPT card and the money is on the EPT card, and as long as they check they bank account and see child support, then hit that direct deposit. That's all the majority of them care about, okay? But I'm still going to break down the history as to how welfare started, how Welfare Pimp started his business in the first place, okay? So I did my research on this, and that's why I said it was going to take a while for me to cover this topic, and I may even have to do 2 parts depending on it. Okay, I took some notes. I'm going to be reading some of these notes to y'all while I'm explaining and going over it. Okay, during the Great Depression of the 1930s, local and state governments as well as private charities were overwhelmed by needy families seeking food, clothing, and shelter. In 1935, welfare for poor children and other dependent persons became a federal responsibility, which it remained for 60 years. In the 1920s, in America was prospering significantly. Construction boomed, businesses flourished, and stock markets soared. So in other words, I guess America was doing pretty good at this point in time. October 29th, 1929, the stock market crashed. The crash sent shockwaves throughout the economy. Banks failed, businesses closed, millions found themselves out of work. The Great Depression, which would last through the 1930s, has begun. When the Great Depression began, about 18 million elderly, disabled, and single mothers with children were struggling. State and local governments, together with private charities, helped them out. By 1933, another 13 million Americans had been thrown out of work. Suddenly, state and local governments and charities could no longer provide even minimum assistance for those in need. Food riots broke out. Desertions by husbands and fathers increased. Homeless families, hell, they doing that now, but that's necessary. Homeless families in cities lived in public parks and shanty towns. Desperate times began to put into question the old American notion that if a man worked hard enough, he could always take care of himself and his family. The effect of the Depression on poor children were particularly severe. Grace Abbott, head of the Federal Children's Bureau, reported that in the spring of 1933, 20% of the nation's school children showed evidence of poor nutrition, housing, and medical care. School budgets were cut and in some cases were shut down for lack of money to pay teachers. An estimated 200,000 boys left home to wander the streets and beg because of the poor economic condition of their families. Most elderly Americans did not have personal savings or retirement pensions to support them in normal times, let alone during a national economic crisis. Those few able to set aside money for retirement often found that their savings and investments had been wiped out by the financial crash in 1929. Senator Paul Douglas of Illinois made this observation in 1933. The impact of all of these forces increasingly convinced the majority of the American people that individuals could not by themselves provide adequately for their old age and that some form of greater security should be provided by society. Even skilled workers, business owners, successful farmers, and professions of all kinds found themselves in severe economic difficulty as 1 of 4 in the labor force lost their jobs. Words like bewildered, shocked, and humiliated were often used at the time to describe increasing numbers of Americans as the Depression deepened. Although President Franklin D. Roosevelt focused mainly on creating jobs for the mass unemployed workers, he also backed the idea of federal and for poor children and other dependent persons. By 1935, a nation welfare system had been established for the first time in American history. Okay, so for you got people who want to read further into the history of Welfare Pimp and where he originated from, you can go to http://www.crf/USA.org, Bill of Rights in Action. Okay, so basically, as you can see, welfare pimp really was originated for poor single moms and for families who was deserted. So basically, during that time, a lot of these women didn't aim to go get benefits just because they knew they can get it. A lot of them had no choice, because during that time it was a lot of famine, it was a lot of poverty. So what happened was a lot of these women who had families was deserted. Their husbands deserted them, basically, because I guess at the time during the Great Depression, the men were so depressed that they wasn't able to provide for them families, and they didn't have the sources that we had today. So men back then, I could kind of understand if they wasn't really dedicated and kind of left them families, because back then they didn't have all the sources they had. They didn't have where you could go line up for get file unemployment temporarily till you get a job, or you can go in and doing other things. They really was limited in resources. So at that time and era, men didn't feel worthy to be consistent and stick with their families. Now today, if a man is just walking out on his family, it's basically because he's not worth in the rat's ass or whatever, or maybe the woman did something to cause him to not want to be there for her. So many factors. I don't want to go too deep into that. But that's what welfare pimp was originated for poor families and for elderly. Okay? These welfare prostitutes today, they don't be poor like that. If you could afford your iPhone 7, and a lot of you driving these brand new cars, y'all be in housing, buying these brand new cars, your kids wearing these top designer label brands, these polos, whatever other top of the line name brands. A lot of y'all ain't poor like that. A lot of these welfare prostitutes, they're not poor. They're just lazy. You know what I'm saying? And they have learned to become slaves to pimp welfare. They have learned to adjust to becoming to being welfare prostitutes. All I gotta do is lay on my back with random men. And as long as I'm doing that, welfare pimp is going to see to it that I'm straight, okay? But again, welfare pimp is pimping these women for the simple fact that welfare pimp is not really helping them. There's a couple of other notes that I had included that I further wanted to mention. A few points I wanted to mention, that the reason why welfare has become a crutch to society, to the black community, to welfare prostitutes, okay, for many reasons. These are the reasons welfare has become a crutch. One issue is the problem with welfare is that it's viewed as a privilege instead of governmental assistance, okay? Basically, the system has been designed to make expectant mothers believe that after a child is produced, especially if the mother is not married and has no other meaningful ties to the father, she is still granted assistance. Welfare does not require any moral codes, such as marriage or a solid family structure which promotes fornication, basically no father, no marriage, and still be eligible for benefits. The reason why I felt it was imperative that I address that is because there's too many welfare prostitutes out here that are acting like they are entitled. They're not looking at welfare benefits as assistance, okay? They look at it like it's a right. Like, the moment I go out there and let a man impregnate me, whether if I know his ass or I don't know him that well, whether if he's somebody I met at the club the night before, however I met him, once I have laid with him on my back and I get pregnant, now I am entitled to getting a check from child support, getting a check from TANF, getting an increase in my food stamps. This is why welfare pimp has become a dependent to these welfare prostitutes, okay? It's already designed, and these LCDs that all I got to do is lay on my back, and I know welfare pimp is going to look out for me. And that's one of the reasons that welfare pimp has really enabled these females, these low-income recipients out here, okay? And because of that, these women are never going to better themselves, and they're never going to try to put themselves in positions to where they don't have to depend on welfare pimp. Second point I wrote in my notes is welfare is not designed, and I mentioned this earlier in the video, welfare is not designed to make a single mother better herself. In other words, there are no life skills, and I know y'all going to agree with me on this point. In other words, there are no life skills or educational requirements prior or during the mother receiving these benefits. Excuse me. Ironically, the system provides assistance rather rapidly, but with no longevity goals or plans. Like I told y'all, if Welfare Pimp meant these welfare recipients any good, then why are they giving these women vouchers to only pay for rent? Why not give them vouchers where they can own these homes and no longer have to keep recertifying every year or 6 months or whatever it is to keep getting them? Because Welfare Pimp wants to continue to keep prostituting these welfare recipients. That's why. Y'all better get hip to the game. The majority of women receiving benefits are uneducated, lack basic life skills, meaning that the majority of them who get these benefits, y'all, they don't know how to budget finances. They don't know how to purchase a home. They don't even know how to do a damn job resume. That's a shame. Many women can't get off the system or what the hell I wrote? This word prediction messed me up. Many women cannot get off the system or become so dependent on the system because welfare doesn't require them to do anything to not need it. Basic common sense, y'all. I said this before on one of my videos. Just like a man who's been incarcerated in prison for committing a crime. Let's say that man has done 15, 20 years in prison, okay? Now he's being released. He has to go out there and reintegrate within the real world. He has to learn how to go out there and blend in with society and become a productive citizen. In order for him to do that, the prison system has to create some type of program or something that when these men get released, they have job programs. They have job programs. They have programs that teach them how to do resumes. They got programs that help them better themselves, okay? If that man is released from prison and you know because of his track record, his criminal record, nobody's not going to give him a chance. So what is he going to do? He's going to resort back to crime. That's the way Welfare Pimp works with these welfare prostitutes. It becomes a revolving door. Welfare Pimp does not give these women any long-term goals to where they won't need them sooner or later. Welfare Pimp keeps these welfare prostitutes in debt to them. In debt consistently. And the sad part is they can pull a rug from up under these women at any given time. And the sad part is if that happens, and believe me, with Trump in office, it's going to. It's going to. And I don't blame him. A lot of things I don't agree with him on, but this is one of those things. It is time. It is time for women, these welfare recipients, because if you're a woman, you're going to be able to maintain whether you get benefits or not. It's not going to ruffle your feathers if they send you a letter today. You know what I'm saying? You still going to hold your head high. You're going to get you a job. You're going to make it happen. You're not going to walk around bitter and angry with the world if they cut your benefits today, okay? That's what a woman does. But these hyenas, these welfare prostitutes, the sad part is the majority of them will be lost. They will be discombobulated today. Because they have not learned how to do anything within the time to receive them benefits. Majority of them have not gone to school. Majority of them don't work, don't have jobs. That's why I said I'm not referring to welfare recipients who are obtaining benefits, but they're doing something to where they won't need the benefits. If you're doing that, I don't keep you in this category. If you're receiving your benefits because you're in college right now, you're working a job right now, you're trying to pay for your kids' college tuition when they become older, then this has nothing to do with you. But for you welfare prostitutes who making it a living and you intentionally getting pregnant from all of these random men just so you can keep going to your caseworker, getting an increase on stamps, getting an increase in Section 8 vouchers and all of that other stuff, for you, I have no sympathy. I don't, because you made this your long-term career and now your ass is about to be terminated. So I don't have no sympathy for you, okay? Welfare is designed to keep a woman single. This is the third point that I want to make, everyone. Welfare is designed to keep a woman single. If you want the benefits, you can't be married or have a man in your home. Wow. Though many have sneaked and done so, eventually it catches up. You can only get benefits if you're single and manless. Welfare is the ultimate pimp, and many low-income recipients have become prostitutes to the game. Like I said, welfare has become the modern day pimp. I find it ironic that there are so many black women who claim to be independent, who depend on the system, yet their housing is from the government, the food they put in their mouths is from the government, and those who receive TANF, the money in their pockets is from the government. It is so contradicting that when a female says, I'm independent, I don't need nobody, but you're running down there to child support. You running down there to the welfare office, to the WIC office, child buy. This are the other points I put in my notes. Most of these welfare prostitutes don't believe that they have become prostitutes to welfare. If not, I wrote down in my notes, I'm going to break it down, which I've already kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to just clarify it again. Think about it. What do pimps do? Pimps control their hoes. In this case, welfare recipients. In other words, the government is controlling these welfare recipients who are receiving the benefits. Okay, not saying those of you who are on welfare or hoes is just an analogy. Okay, let's get that straight so you don't have to flag the video and all this other stuff. I'm just an analogy. Like a pimp controls a whore, welfare pimp controls these welfare recipients. Pimps give their hoes just enough to keep them dependent on them, which is kibbles and bits. Pimps are smart enough to know that if they give too much, the hoe's not going to need them. Just like welfare knows if it helps you pay anything off, if it gets you too well established, you're no longer going to need the system. But if they give too little, the hoe's not going to be any good to him or herself. But so he knows he has to give you something. Again, like I said before, welfare pimp know they're going to have to hook you up, give you some benefits, give you some EPT, give you housing to keep you at bay, okay? Welfare gives you just enough that they don't give you something big enough to where you don't need them again. You can't own a home. They don't give you enough to purchase a car or place your children in college. So they don't even give you all of these benefits until your children become full-term adults. That is the sad part. Again, I think it's the reason why I felt the need to discuss this is because it's too many welfare recipients that are comfortable with the system, and they don't believe that it's going to catch up with them. They do not believe it. And I don't think a lot of them don't. It's not so much they don't believe it. A lot of them are not educated or intelligent enough to know all of this is going to come to an end eventually. It takes common sense to know that I can't make this a long-term thing. I know eventually it's going to catch up with me. But you have to have enough wisdom and intellect to be able to know that without welfare even giving you a letter, or Section 8 giving you a letter telling you you're going to be cut off. Anybody with any common sense will automatically know that. You can't retire off of welfare. You can't retire off of child support. You can't even claim none of that on your damn taxes. This is why I stress this, okay? Those of you who out here who own these benefits, you better have a plan. Now, I do agree with this much. I believe that welfare should still be eligible for senior citizens or for those who who were making good money but lost their job and now need some benefits. I think if welfare pimp is still going to be in business, they should be the only ones eligible for it. They need to be elderly, and they need to be people who have worked and seeking unemployment benefits or something of that nature. But you able-bodied welfare prostitutes who, if you can go to the nail shop, you go to the nail salon, you go to all these places. If you are well able-bodied to do that with no problem, you have all day on your smartphone and on Facebook. If you can do all of that, you are very much capable of going out there and getting a job. Going out there and going to college, okay? And don't worry, if you don't do it, you're going to hurt yourself in the long run. Because before you know it, welfare pimp is going to evict you and throw you out there. Your children are going to be grown. Your children will be too grown for you to go back down there and apply. So it's going to come to a dead end. I have rambled on about Welfare Pimp, y'all. I'm going into 53 minutes. Like I told y'all, I was going to do the video on Welfare Pimp. How Welfare Pimp has made these welfare prostitutes beholding to the system. Like, subscribe, share. Give me some feedback. And again, I don't mind disagreeing. Let's do it respectfully. And also to my followers who comment to other followers, please be respectful of one another. You can state your point to one another and disagree without using derogatory language. I just think we all are adults, you know what I'm saying? We're all, we know we can handle ourselves and conduct ourselves in a positive manner, okay? I just don't like disrespect and people just talking to each other nasty. I don't like that. And if I feel like any of my followers are being threatened or talked to any kind of way from another follower who has no sense of respect and no sense of how to talk to someone without belittling them or name calling them, I'm just going to delete you, because nobody's not going to come on my channel to be harassed. I'm not going to be harassed. So believe me, followers, if you feel like anybody's harassing you or disrespecting you, email me. I will boot them, okay? Because I don't even play like that. You know what I'm saying? This is your girl, Lady Mocha. And you know how I'm always operating with you. I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth. And I'm going to always break you off with a slice of knowledge. Shout out to all of my followers. Thank you, guys. And I look forward to doing my next topic with you. Probably within the week, because I have done 2 back-to-back, all right? So I know I'm going to need to take me a little recess, a little break. So it's your girl, Lady Mocha. Love you guys. Keep tuning in. Keep shouting your girl out. Share me on Facebook. Share me on your Twitter. Share me on your Instagram, whatever. Wherever you do your work at. You know what I'm saying? So thank all of you. And remember, Welfare Pimp is slowly but surely getting ready to retire, so y'all may want to start looking into some other options. On that note, with that being said, it's your girl, Lady Mocha. I'm signing off.